Hey guys, it's Greg from East Coast Dyes, and I hope you all enjoyed the string video or the lax chat from earlier with Mike, myself, and Contest Colin from the Lacrosse Network. If you didn't see it, you can go check it out. We talked live and took questions for about an hour, and it was a whole lot of fun. I like doing those with them. But today is Theory Thursday, and today we're going to be talking about shooting strings. And specifically, we're going to be talking about the three different types of shooting strings, not shape configurations, but actual types of shooting strings. So you could, if you've seen, I've made tutorials for weaved, barreled, and now rolled shooting strings. I'll link all those tutorials on screen right now. You can go check them out. While those are up, brief overview. Weaved are shooting strings that look like this, and the most common. Barreled, all in one row, but a little bit tighter weave. And rolled is the most recent tutorial I did, and looks like that. So you can check out the tutorials linked on screen if you'd like to string any of those. But today I'm going to talk about functionally the differences and when you should use different ones. So far and away the most common shooting string used in lacrosse are weave shooting strings. It's the most basic, and in my opinion it's the easiest to string. You can see it's just the shooting string through one row of diamonds weaved one over another. So they provide a really great hold and still a really smooth release, but are the most common shooting strings. And then I guess tied, or I'd say maybe even rolled are more common, but then there's rolled shooting strings, which have the lowest whip and are not that commonly used, and finally barreled shooting strings. So let's go through it and talk about the different whip that each of these provide. Rolled shooting strings provide the lowest whip of any shooting strings you can get because they're very flat, and you can make this back string very loose, and it's the ball is not going to catch if you keep it loose. So if you want really low whip, rolled shooting strings are good. Barreled provide just a little bit more whip, but still less than rolled and more than weaved. And they also look really nice and clean. You can see how nice those look. These are nylons. You can also do them in shooting strings as well. And then weaved, finally the most common, the easiest to string, and provide good hold, but still a pretty smooth release. So we'll go through each one and talk about some situations when you can use them. For rolled shooting strings, I really only suggest this when you're going to use only straight shooting strings. I've seen them where people use 4 straight rolled shooting strings, and it provides a super smooth release with next to no whip and just a really, really clean release. The reason I would only use them for straight shooting strings is that you, with a rolled shooting string like this, can get a little bit awkward. You can string them, and some people do, but in all honesty, since they are so low whip and so flat, it's not going to do a ton for you. So moving on to barreled, you can see these are barreled shooting strings. The most common place you've seen barreled shooting strings is in the P34 pocket. It's got 2 barreled nylons exactly like this does, and then a 5-diamond U and a 3-diamond U, which are also barreled. And this allows you to have a really tight channel without the shooting strings getting into the way because they are so minimal and so low whip, and they won't really catch on the ball. But I really like using barreled for my nylons. I like to avoid weave nylons because they can really hook the ball, but a barreled nylon lays really nice and flat and really helps really give it a little bit of snap but still be smooth and not come off too hard on the nylons. And for that reason, I like the combination of barreled nylons with weaved U's. The weaved U's are going to provide just the right amount of hold in the pocket when the ball's sitting there, and then come off pretty smooth and hit the nylons and really snap off. So that's really the combination that I recommend, is a weaved U with a barreled nylon. Of course, there's all kinds of other configurations you can go into, like 4 straights with all weaved is a really good one for really low whip and a smooth release, but still some hold, as opposed to using the rolled. But generally, if you're going to be using U's, I recommend weaved. If you're going to be using nylons, I recommend barreled, unless you really like that hard snap of a weaved nylon shooter. So that's just an overview, gives you guys an idea of when you should be using these different types of shooting strings. Again, make sure to check out the tutorial if you need to know how to string any of these. So like this if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't for more string videos and tutorials, and have a great day, guys.